What is life like now? Do you think Daniel Andrews was justified, given the soaring number of cases we're seeing overseas without lockdowns?
Well, Laura, good morning, and it is certainly a very positive day for Melburnians. I'm lucky enough to live in regional Victoria, so I haven't been living in the Ring of Steel, but this has been a very debilitating few months, and of course it's caused not just severe economic pain, but also severe mental health issues. So we have seen some really positive steps forward, of course, with the announcement and the unlocking of cafes and restaurants as of midnight tonight, but we still have a long way to go. So I'm not going for the top shelf as Daniel Andrews is yet, Laura. I think while he's grasping for the Victorian whiskey, many families are still struggling to put cornflakes on the table. Many families have been hit very, very badly by this, and of course it should never have happened, as we know, because the community transmission ran wild because of the breakdown in hotel quarantine. But it certainly is more positive, and I'm really hoping that Victorians have done a magnificent job, of course, and I'm really hoping that they can continue to do so.
Will businesses bounce back? I mean, we spoke to one business earlier this morning that is a nationwide company, and because they don't meet the threshold for a job keeper in terms of losses across the board in all of their retail sales, it means their Melbourne outfit has really suffered. So there's not going to be that bounce back, is there, for all businesses?
Well, I know many businesses are still really going to struggle, and even the Australian Hotels Association has said this morning that they are profoundly concerned about pubs and clubs because there's still very severe restrictions. Only 20 people are allowed into a restaurant or a hotel. Now, that means that it's simply not viable for many businesses to open. And then the next step of reopening, Laura, still only something like 40 people are allowed inside. So I say to the Premier this morning, I would really like to see him waive the terrible fines that have been imposed on some small businesses, including the likes of Harry Hutchinson, fines up to $10,000, which frankly are akin to a criminal penalty, and I think give rise to some human rights issues as well under the Victorian Charter of Human Rights as to whether those sorts of fines are even valid or perhaps challengeable. But certainly the Premier must waive those fines. They are, just completely inequitable when so many businesses were and have been at breaking point.
How many businesses are you talking about that have been fined?
Well, I know of a couple, and there may well be some more businesses that have been fined up to $10,000. And it's just a horrendous fine when businesses are already on their knees. I mean, some businesses, Laura, in Melbourne have not opened for 8 months. Can you just imagine what that would be like? Businesses are going broke every day. Some may never reopen from this day forward. So these fines are completely disproportionate, they are unjustified, and they need to be waived.